Domestic airlines under the aegis of Airline Operators of Nigeria are demanding that the federal government allow them get the required license for the importation and distribution of aviation fuel, popularly called Jet A1. AON also asked the government to provide a dedicated line to access foreign exchange from the Central Bank of Nigeria to enable them to meet their obligations to passengers. They made the request during a courtesy visit on the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, at his office in Abuja. Nigeria's airline, United Nigeria Airlines, has been admitted as a member of the global aviation body, the International Air Transport Association. The airline's admittance into IATA was conveyed to the management of United Nigeria Airlines and addressed to Chairman and Chief Executive of the company, Professor Obiora Okonkwo. According to the letter signed by IATA Director General William Walsh, the group's priorities include improving global safety, protecting the industry's ability to grow sustainably, driving digital transformation within the industry, and becoming the trusted source for aviation data. Analysts say IATA's membership is an indication that United Nigeria Airlines was on course to becoming a global carrier. Our Chairman United Nigeria Airlines, Professor Obiora Okonkwo, joins us now to speak on the request by local airlines to import aviation fuel and request forex, and also matters arising from inaugural meeting with the Minister of Aviation on compensating passengers for flight delays and others. Great to have you on Newsday. Congratulations on joining on your IATA membership. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, first of all, let's start with your request to import aviation fuel and also to have a direct access to forex. How is the federal government reacting to this request?
Thank you. I didn't expect to be back here too soon, but this is an indication that Arise has turned out to be the best friend of airline operators in Nigeria. Thank you so much for being always there for us. However, our meeting 2 days ago with the Honorable Minister of Aviation was fully loaded with so many issues. We had both on and off camera meetings that totaled about 4 hours and plus. And from indication of that meeting, we had no doubt that the Minister has sufficiently shown commitment and interest to carry along the operators in the industry. We are very, very satisfied with that outcome of the meeting. So amongst all this, the issue of license to import fuel was just one aspect of it. We made 3 major presentations. The first phase of the presentation, which was made by one of our colleagues, Captain Iyayi, was on the state of the industry, the challenges. And the second part of the presentation, which was made by my humble self, was on part of the aviation roadmap that has to do with the aviation leasing company and then the aviation maintenance organization, MRO. So in all of this, the Minister welcomed them very, very, very positively and had reassured to take our message to the right quarters. On the issue of license to import, our position is, if government is not committed to fishing out the bad eggs within the chain of distribution of Jet A1, then they should allow us direct access. Direct access to that product does not just mean license. It means also access to foreign exchange, because you may not have to import Jet A1 under a 30-ton capacity, 30,000 ton capacity vessel. That means we are talking about millions and millions of dollars of foreign exchange. You may recall that some time ago, in series of our meetings with National Assembly, they had requested NMPC to grant us the license. One may ask, why are we asking for it again? Yes, it is because the process has not really shown some some clear indications that we're going to have it as requested. So we're representing it again before the minister. But that's our last option. Don't get me wrong here. That's our last option. But if the government is able to wade into the cartel in NMPC that had always kept some gatekeeping, some layers and layers of markups, then if we have these products at a reasonable price, which we still believe that no matter the cost of crude oil in the international market, unfortunately the exchange rate is rising every day. But however, plus minus, this should still be within the mode of 600 naira. We'll be comfortable with that. We're not asking for any subsidy from the government. But there are so many markups that before it gets to the pump price, it becomes so unbearable. And then, honestly speaking, all these things we are fighting for is to reduce the burden from the public, because the only option we may have would be just to sit down and calculate the cost of these things and mark up on the ticket. We know the effect. It will affect the passenger load, it will affect the burden, and it will not help the growth of the industry. On the issue of the minister's statement on compensating the passengers, obviously that's just news reporters trying to sensationalize our meeting with the minister. The minister had acknowledged that there are so many things to be fixed in the industry that is affecting the seamless operation of the operators. But he is also reminding the operators at the point that we get to the level of getting it right, we should not forget to compensate the travelers whenever there are delays caused by the operators. As a matter of fact, this is already in place. Some of the travelers, when there are genuine delays from the operators, they get some compensation, they get refreshment at the airport, and some of them even get free tickets to make their next journey. We are not bothered about that. This is the international standard. We are doing it and we'll continue to do it. But I know that 95% of delays are beyond the control of operators. What can you do with VIP movement? What can you do with bad weather? All the airports should have ILS. With ILS, you can land in any airport with zero visibility. Not many of these airports have it. Cancellations that are caused because of sunset in so many airports, what do? You can't do anything about that. Even unruly passengers. Last week alone in United Nigeria, a flight had about 1 or 2 hours delay because there was an unruly passenger in the plane that just refused to put the handbag in the cabin, because maybe the handbag was so precious to her that she doesn't want to let it be somewhere else. That was about 2 hours. And so when you have that 2 hours, it's another circle all over, and then it will affect the rest of the issues. So we really know that all we are pleading is we are operating under international standards. Thank you for congratulating us on IATA. Any airline that has IOSA and IATA, you are bound to comply with international standard. And international standard is that if there are delays caused by you, you should compensate the passengers. Great. But if there are delays that led to cancellation of flight, assuming that you are supposed to fly and we can't get in because of these delays has affected the Sunset Airport, we should get in by 6:30, and before you know it was 7, the airport is closed. The international standard is that you are scheduled only to the next available flight. But in Nigeria here, we go out of our way to cancel everything we had the next day, to take these passengers first flight in the morning to their next destination. Because some of them think, you don't even have to operate any other flight until you take them to their next destination. But that's not the case. All over the world, if you have a cancellation, the only thing that the airline owes you is reschedule you to the next available flight. This available flight means that if you are going to Lagos and your flight is cancelled in Abuja, even if there is another aircraft taking off from Abuja to Lagos, it's not a must that it should be there, because it could have been full with other passengers you have a commitment to. It might be just the next one tomorrow. But here, some of the passengers, obviously, in a hurry to get to their destination and ignorance of what the international rules apply, might seize you from even boarding that aircraft. That's not the rule. So these are the things we discussed with the minister, that we are ready to meet up with our own obligation as long as the facilities, all the requirements are done from other partners, and then obviously enough enlightenment is also done to the passengers, because passengers' right is not only compensation. There are also passengers' obligation. If you have to fly, if you get into the airport, you are bound by the rules of international aviation. And that is, there are conducts you must have to exhibit, and so on and so forth. So these are the issues, a whole lot of them. But obviously, critical of them all is the Forex. Forex remains a very big issue. There is no airline operating in Nigeria that doesn't need millions and millions of dollars on a monthly basis to meet their own obligation. So we are overall happy with the meeting. That's not the end. The minister has an open door policy and will continue to consult us and put us into consideration in every decision. That's a new beginning for the aviation industry.
Professor Obiora,
we're very grateful for that.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a detailed revelation of everything that took place at the meeting. Thank you for joining us on Newsday.